Vitality went into this match 4-0 in the league. They've beaten, at this point, Dignitas, PSG, the Bricks, and someone else. I forgot who else they beat. I totally blanking on that. But anyway, they're 4-0, and TSM were 3-0 after narrowly beating Barcelona. Oh yeah, they beat Barcelona. Yeah, both these teams have beaten Barcelona. They beat Barcelona, Mouse earlier in the day. Or no, it was another day actually.
Man, keep up the good stuff. Less than 3.
And who did TSM beat in week 1? Like either way, it was pretty clear that Vitality's results, in my opinion, were the better of the two going in. Not just because they were 4-0 and their opponents were not, but also because they'd already beaten Dignitas and Barcelona in pretty convincing fashion. Hopefully you enjoyed this review as much as the other ones. Is the title been adapted to suit this properly? Let's get into this game. So, Ignite, Remco both playing the Dominus like they have been for quite some time now. Unfortunately though, we didn't have Ignite in the... Oh my goodness, what is this? How does this go in? We don't have Ignite in the TSM decal. How does this go in? Oh dear, hold on. Did Remco like run out of boost or something? No, he had 100 boost. Did he think that Metza was hitting this? He must have thought Metza was hitting this. This is I didn't see this at all. What happened? Did he have a controller issue as well? I think he just totally beaned it. I think this is just a huge beanery, but K-Dop shot does give them 1-0 for Vitality. So yeah, K-Dop joining Vitality has kind of made them look like the best team in Europe at the moment, if not the best team in the world. We'll have to wait and see how the NA teams and EU teams match up later in the year. Well, that's a good bump by Scrubkilla. So you'll notice here that on this kickoff, well actually I don't really like Fairy Peak going off to the right here. Doesn't make too much sense compared to Remco's position. The ball doesn't tend to roll out towards Fairy Peak in this position, and also we're going to have a lot of Vitality players in the top of the field with how this face-off's playing out, so I'm not a fan of that, but I like how Scrub is past the ball here, so he can't really make a play on it, but he does realize he could just bump Ignite out of the way, so that prevents Ignite from cheating. It's really smart stuff. And wow, okay, just a goal actually. So that play by Scrub is why Vitality are able to score. Fairy Peak just gets a cheeky 1v1 play started and passes it off to Scrub, who knocks in a second goal. Why didn't Ignite use the TSM decal? Maybe he just feels like he doesn't play as well with it. It might seem like a silly notion that, oh, how can you play worse with a decal? It doesn't do anything. But sometimes you just feel like your car is slower or clunkier or less accurate or heavier. I don't know, it's just distracting you. So there's a lot of things that could be the reason for this, but I don't know exactly. I didn't ask him. But yeah, bad start to the game here for TSM. I think that the Octane switch for Fairy Peak, by the way, is, in my opinion, I like this. I think it's a very good change because he says that he ball chases more in the Octane in 1v1, but from what I have seen from Fairy Peak's Octane playing 3v3 is just very, very solid. He just looks like even more of a beast, if you ask me, because he's more confident moving forward. He used to play a lot of Octane. This isn't a brand new car for him. I think when he got second place at the World Championships in Season 3 with K-Dop and Mystic, I think he was an Octane player back then, but that I'm not 100% sure about. Ignite said on Reddit he likes to keep his car simple. Yeah, there you go. It's expected. So yeah, K-Dop moving up on the wall there to just preempt the clear is making it very hard for TSM to get the ball out of their half. Messinoris is really boost starved here. He's just trying to keep up ball pressure. So if you wonder what is Metza doing here, why is he so close to this ball? He can't go for this. He only has 12 boost. Him and his team, if he's communicated it, are the only people who know that he has 12 boost. For all Scrubkilla and K-Dop know that. I mean, they might have a suspicion that Metza's out of boost, but they don't know that. So it kind of forces Scrub to go into the air. He can't just wait for this ball to be lower and make a harder hit on it, or a more accurate hit if that's what he wanted to do, because he's worried that if the longer he waits, the more likely it is that Metza is just going to go up for that and make it really awkward. So it's smart by Metza just to hang about there. He couldn't challenge, but he could still have ball pressure. It's by being there. This is something that's actually very important in 3s and 2v2 as well. I mean, actually, in any game mode, like, ball pressure is huge in 1v1. But with low boost ball pressure, one of the keys is not, like what Metza did there, not taking yourself out of the game. Because if you do take yourself out of the game, the fact that you've got 0 boost is going to make it very hard to recover. Alright, let's look at this first touch from K-Dop. So this is something he's very good at. You'll see K-Dop do this a lot if you watch his stream, but he'll cushion the ball with the front of his car and then immediately look for a volley. This is something he loves to do. He doesn't wait for the second bounce and half volley the ball. He just loops away for a very, very short run up and then volleys it. And you can get a lot of power, especially if you're K-Dop. You can get tons of power on that, even though it's only a really short run up. And it's a full volley, so you're not getting the benefit of the bounce to give you some more pace on the shot. You still get plenty pace. And I think that the early shots like that can definitely surprise your opponents. Watching YouTube for like 2 months for the MN5K, never caught your stream. Thanks for swinging by, dude. Don't worry about it. Sorry if I didn't see it the first time. Feel free to write it again. TSM are just trying to find an opening in Vitality's defense, but there really isn't one. The rotation's looking on point. No double commits for Vitality. Boost control definitely there. No overly aggressive plays from their third man, whoever it may be at any given time. They just seem to be ready for just about anything that TSM are doing, and that's the problem when you've got 3 players who are as good in 1v1 situations as the Vitality players are. It's really hard to get the ball past. It's just very difficult because they know better than most teams what their opponents can do to get it past them when these solo plays occur. Like this is a play by Metza that if we switch teams here, like this is literally, like, I think this is a goal for Vitality. If you switch teams and you have a Vitality player in Metza's position against any TSM defender, just because their ground plays better, you probably have a goal most of the time. But when it's TSM on the ground against Vitality, I think that they don't get a goal most of the time because they don't have that 1v1 experience. They don't have the in-game errors like bounce dribbling, flicking, ball carrying, all these things that 1v1 players are just better at. So they're missing out on goals by not being as accomplished in that regard. Big dunk there by Scrub. Metza beaten to the ball. He's been a bit out of this game, has Metza. This hasn't been a good one for him. Yeah, sure, King Spectre. It's up to you on that. I'll trust your judgment. Honaz, welcome to the stream, dude. How do high-level players make their debut for show matches? What do you mean, how do I select people? Just, you know, if I think somebody's going to be entertaining. Like, I just try and invite people to my stream who I think my viewers are going to want to watch. Because, you know, my job is to put together matchups that are going to be exciting. Why do you think Fairy switched to Octane? Probably just to try and be more aggressive. Because I think the Batmobile sometimes makes people play a bit passive, reactive, which isn't always an advantage in 3v3. It's good to be able to switch though, because if you can change, let's just back this up real quick. If you can change car every now and then, like, it's a good thing to be able to do, because let's say you're playing really badly one day, and then you switch car, you feel like you're doing great. Like that's a real thing. It's just like you can call it placebo effect, but it's I think totally legit way to switch things up. Good double touch by Scrub. 4-0 is just brutal. Like every single time that Vitality are getting an attack, it looks so deadly. This time, I think we had Remco on the goal line who just couldn't get that ball contact. Doesn't everyone want Left first killer or something? I don't think Left wants to play 1v1 series at the moment because he's focusing on RLCS and well, just RLCS, yeah. But I heard Scrub told me he wants to beat first killer in a series, so we might see that pretty soon. Let's say the Vitality decal is definitely growing on me. It's pretty solid. Cheeky fake there by Fairy. Just looking so good. Vitality are not just like beating some of the other best teams in Europe, but they're making it look quite scary while they do it. Really, really scary stuff, this team. Thoughts on Leth's tweets? I don't know what tweets you're talking about, sorry. Fart Rhino, 33, thanks for the 2-month prime. I really appreciate that. W Love, thanks for 500 bits as well. I did see that meme. Remember seeing this, or seeing this actually earlier. You want to grind once to become good to VS first killer? Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta do that, man. I'm not stopping you. Let's get into game 2 here. Not gonna lie, I don't remember which game of the series TSM win. That should be interesting. Oh my goodness. Well, that's just a K-Dop goal. I think in this position, iGnite has to play the ball. It's the same kickoff again, where Fairy Peak's going off to the top here. Which spawn was it though? Was it double? No, they're all at the back actually. Interesting. I like sending Fairy Peak to the top half. Yeah, when you're against Scrub Killer, you know he's pretty good at winning kickoffs. I mean, Vitality in general are all going to be pretty good at winning kickoffs, which pairs up very well with cheating on kickoffs. So K-Dop's just cheated here, and iGnite's just left the ball, and then Metza's in a terrible position. Nothing Metza can do there. iGnite has to pressure the ball, because when it pops off like this, iGnite can get a rubbish touch, just to, you know, pop it into the side wall again, or hit it into the air. Instead he goes for boost, and K-Dop's just like, lol. Yeah, I don't miss these, by the way. I've jinxed it now. What did I jinx? Pick people are entertaining. How do they get recognized? I mean, if somebody has to ask me how do they get recognized in Rocket League, they're probably not going to get recognized. Like, there's lots of ways you can get recognized. Just get good. Like, make content. The usual stuff. Lots of 50-50s in defense for Vitality. They're not giving away the ball very easily. Alright, let's see what happened here. Bit of miscommunication there. That's a double commit from Vitality. And if there is one thing that they've been known for doing, which might be a weak spot, that could be it. Why is it called cheating up? Because you're trying to guess where the ball's going to be, and you're moving into position early. Lots of empty boost players on Vitality here. How did Scrub get in such a bad position? What happened? Oh, did he? I think Scrub got the 100 boost, didn't he? Or did he? Maybe he didn't. He tried to get it. He was sitting on the corner, and it didn't spawn. There's Scrub sitting on the corner. Now, if he was sitting on the corner, that leads me to believe that the boost was not there for at least 4 or 5 seconds before he started doing this. And it still isn't there now. Still isn't there. Maybe Fairy Peak got it right there when he drove over the boost, and Scrub is actually boost starved this whole time. But if Scrub has boost there, I think he does, he should be taking command of that situation. When you're underneath the ball looking up and it's hitting your backboard, that's a harder read to make than when you're side on in Scrub Killer's position, and trying to read it from that angle. So Scrub should just take the command there, make that play. Oh, that's super risky by Scrub. You can get away with this sort of stuff in 3v3 though, because you do have 2 other players in your team, so it doesn't really matter if you go forward for like a really unlikely to work blocking play. Yeah. I mean, if it does work, people are just like, oh, we're pretty surprised by that, I guess, because nobody expects you to go up for this in this position. Alright, Heenus Panther, see you later, man. Yeah, boosting like a madman. That's what I thought. I thought I saw him boosting at the very corner of the screen. Yeah, Scrub just needs to take over there. Like, a double commit is bad in defense, usually. Not always, but very often it's bad. But it's better than sending nobody. You know, if you don't send anybody, that's just hesitation. You're just going to get scored on. You missed Wonder Mike getting smacked. You missed Wonder Mike's PC crashing. So we didn't get to see that matchup. TSM love to just hit the ball as hard as they can every time they get it, don't they? Just like, right, let's just lob this forward and this one forward. And they're pretty good if they can get their opponents into defense. That's a really nice touch by iGnite. Check this this ball control. So take notes, everybody. He could have dove rather off the wall at this, but he thinks, no, I can actually bring it down and take a touch. And I like that because this is something that I don't think TSM do often enough. They don't take control very often, just hitting it away. Potentially relinquishing control of the series when they do it. They control the match, rather. Pretty sure it's at 3 low GCs. Yeah, you thought you could take out 3 low GCs. I don't know about that, but we tried 2 today. I think Rizzo is better or Squishy. Well, better at what? 3v3? I don't know what you're referring to, so I can't really tell you who's better. Better at wow, okay, that works. Well, that actually is a good way to handle that situation. Pretty unconventional. But Scrubkiller rolls the ball up the back wall. Knowing that if nothing else, it's not going to be shootable for a while. This has been a very double committee game though for Vitality. That's the weakness that they have shown in the past. Good job Mesa not to throw himself in here, but he's managed to dodge all the boost pads on his way out. Honaz, don't worry about it, dude. Anytime. Actually, maybe not anytime, but a lot of time. Looking to stream this week. Well, besides today, I'll be streaming on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's my streams this week. Then I'm away for the weekend, so I won't be streaming Friday, Saturday. Like I usually do. I'll be back the following week, of course. Best way to improve your timing when doing wave dashes. Just make sure if you're like falling over when you wave dash, you're probably dodging too early. Your wheels, like if you're wave dashing forward, your back wheels have to be on the ground, or just about on the ground before you wave dash. Yeah, just no challenge coming in here for TSM. Let's back this up and see. Once again, need to actually go further back. So you'd think this would be like a pretty even position, but actually what's happened is that everybody on TSM has kind of jumped the gun on this counter attack. So Remco beats Fairy to the ball, and TSM or Metza and Ignite in defense right now are thinking, nice, Fairy's out of the game, Remco looks like he's still got control, let's go help. Then they both drive forward. But the problem with that is that when Scrubkiller dismantle or dispossesses Remco with one touch and still has control, then nobody's actually ready to proactively challenge Scrubkiller here. To do that, you would need somebody like on the ground near the goal line of TSM or even the back wall so they can make a ceiling challenge. But they both drove forward and then turned. So at this point, this is the point where you want to be challenging Scrub, not late like Ignite is. That allows Scrub way too much time to pull off the shot. The mistake actually happened when they just thought, oh cool, let's counter attack. Remco's got the ball, but Remco didn't have the ball. It just looked like he did, and that does happen sometimes. Because you're looking quite far and you see the ball behind your teammate, and it looks like at the worst they're gonna get a 50-50, but sometimes they can just get dispossessed because you gotta remember the ball's rolling away from them usually. And if it's rolling away from them, it's probably rolling towards the opponent that's challenging them, so they could just be getting the ball for free. I think the major lesson to learn there is just don't leave defense too early, because if you leave defense a little bit later, you're not hindering your counter attack too much. You're only going to be a tiny bit later forward, especially as third man. That's not a big deal. Sometimes arriving later is better because you're going to have a better timing arrival for after your second man's made a play on the ball. If your second and third man both leave at the same time too early, not a good idea. Do you think casters use fixed camera settings for everyone? I don't know what the casters do for RLCS. I'm a bit surprised actually that casters you can spectate. Like, I don't know how casters keep on ending up spectating games in or rather not even spectating. I don't know how they end up accidentally joining games in RLCS, because if it was like me making this broadcast, I wouldn't even have casters be the ones spectating. Just have them watching a spectator client. But it's pretty funny. James Boss joined. Someone else joined. Someone else. Turtle joined. Alpha's break check instead of a save. Yeah, that was a controller issue. it was confirmed controller issue. I know somebody's going to ask about what that is. I could probably find it for you guys because it is interesting. Alright, let's take a look at the Alpha 54 bra moment before we move on with this series. So Alpha 54 has plenty boost and he just stops and watches the ball go in. Yeah, on his Discord, or on some Discord that he's on, he said that it was a controller issue, which is pretty unfortunate because this is game 5 of a series. It's 0-0 and that's how you concede. Feels pretty bad, you know. So that was controller issue in that game. Let me just get back into this match that we're watching though. Teams you think are going to make LAN, not Sam and OCE. Vitality, I think Dignitas are probably still going to come back and make LAN. Would not be surprised to see TSM making LAN, even though they don't look too hot against Vitality here. And then the last spot for EU is pretty hard to pick. I think like Barcelona have got a really good chance because they've lost twice. Oh, what a save by Mesa! Holy cow! They've lost to Vitality and TSM, who are both top of the league. So Barcelona could be going back here. That's a cracking save by Metsonoris. On a K-Dop shot. Rip Bricks F3. Well, yeah, the Bricks lost to PSG. They lost to Triple Trouble while Speed was in NA, so they're not picking up wins in some key matchups. Oh my goodness, Remco, calm down, mate. It's a great touch. Fairy Peak was not ready for it at all. He did not see that one coming. Great touch. And Metsa's got the double. Ignite might have pull shotted him into this. It looked like Metsa had this one under control. Bit of a panic there by Vitality. Yeah, Scrub here has to do better. This clear is pretty rubbish. He just passed it straight into Metsa. But that's a fantastic read by Metsa. Look at this. He read this ball bouncing down. And despite Ignite's chances to bump him, he got the goal. Maple Syrup, thanks for the Prime sub, by the way. I do appreciate that. And Liquidity1, thanks for the 2-month tier 1. Also, Lidad, thanks to the 2-month Prime. I think I've said thank you to everybody who subbed. I do appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, K-Dop's a lot at the back here. Let's see what he can do. It's not the best touch by K-Dop, but it'll do the trick. My biggest criticism of K-Dop's play last year with Dignitas in Season 6 was that he would sometimes be a little bit unreliable in defense. Usually he would be pretty solid, but sometimes he would just get a complete whiff or a really bad touch in defense, and Turbo or Panda would have to come rescue him. But recently I've not seen much of that from K-Dop. He's been a beast. Oh my goodness, and he just scores so many goals. This guy's a machine. What? That's just a brutally good shot by K-Dop, my word. Double touch where he flies off the ball, or the wall. The ball's catching up with him, dodges into it, and then hits the backboard rebound. It's insane. You know, isn't Scrub like... Scrub and Justin are the two guys who are like top in every category for like goals, assists, and saves, right? Scrub for EU and Justin for NA. Johnny can hit those. If I hit a double touch like that, it's probably an accident. Double touches by Metsa just everywhere though. What is this? It's great stuff by Metsa, to be honest. Really nice recovery. K-Dop would have had a save here if Metsa didn't slow down that shot. So this slow shot by Metsa is exactly what he needed. Really good play. Don't know exactly what happened to Scrub and Fairy that they were out of the game for that long. I was almost going to rewind that to check, but I think we'll just continue watching for now. Whatever was the reason for them getting scored on, like, it's only partly K-Dop to blame. He actually did a pretty good job. He covered a lot of the goal, but Metsa still got it. Oh, I remember seeing a clip of this. This save is crazy by Scrub. This save is insane on the goal line. Oh, how close did that get? Hold on a second. It's mostly in. Are you serious? What? That save. And he didn't just save it, he actually took it under control. That's unbelievable. Literally the closest you can get without the ball being scored. That is a massive pog. Wow. And the fact that he took control of that ball is what allowed Vitality to not get scored on. Because if he just tapped that ball away, there's a good chance that TSM are going to pounce on it and get another goal. But actually kept it close to him, so that K-Dop and Fairy can help out. Yeah, I don't want to go to RLCS League play right now. EU and NA are both casted in America out of American studio, and I think every time Shogun's gone to commentate that, you know, the league play portion of RLCS, he's lived in America for like 2 months or 2.5 months or something. That's not something I want to do at this stage of my life, so that just ain't happening. Should review the admin pause. It was very interesting. I think everybody's seen the pause though by now. That touch by Ignite's actually super sick. Metsa's is popping off. He scored 3 goals this game, but the pass by Ignite here can't have been what Vitality were expecting. Really good speedy use of the roof there to drop the ball straight down. You know, like I said earlier in this series, when TSM can get their opponents backed into their own half, they're really good at getting goals. But the issue they have is when they're the ones who are defending, I don't think that they're that good at like breaking out and like counter-attacking that often. If they want teams to be more scared of doing that to them, they need to have a more threatening counter-attack like Vitality do. Vitality's counters are pretty insane right now. Meet Johnny's nose. It'd be pretty cool. I hope I can go to the next RLCS LAN. Palagrin, thanks for the 3-month prime. I really appreciate that. Let's see what happens to the rest of this game. I already know who wins this one, but I didn't see the match. Bit of a whiff there by someone. That should be a better pass by Scrub. Let's see what's happening here. It looks like his takeoff was a bit rubbish, which leads him to having a pretty bad pass towards Fairy Peak as well. Yeah, most of the Vitality counterattacks and passing plays that I've seen is just them smashing the ball at each other. They just drill the ball like as hard as you can towards their teammate. And it works pretty well, because if you hit the ball really hard at your teammate at a position that they can actually hit the ball from, they don't have to even do much. They just have to like deflect it and it still goes super far. Fairy Peak's making a run on Remco here. Remco plays this really well. I think Fairy Peak might have actually just ran into Scrub, or K-Dop rather, did he? Yeah, he did. Look at Fairy Peak here. He's trying to bump Remco, misses it. I think he tries to yeah, he just flips. He's turned off, or he's got ball cam on. Doesn't see where K-Dop is, drives into him. Not the best play by Fairy Peak there. They're not still scoring, are they? Almost. Yeah, Fairy Peak was trying to get a bump, but not quite the bump that wasn't what he was looking for. I think the onus is always on the player rotating out in that position, not to drive into his teammate. So Fairy Peak's definitely to blame there. Yeah, they're going to concede again to Metsonoris again, as they kind of push a little bit too hard. K-Dop making a play on the ball on that pass is the correct play to make, by the way. Even though they've conceded here, it is the correct play to try and make that work, because they've only got 10 seconds left. They need to score 2, so they're actually playing their win condition by going for this. Even though it doesn't work out, it's not supposed to work out most of the time. It's just the only way they could have ever won this game. Good double touches though from Metsa. And TSM's ability to just boom the back wall and the side wall pretty effectively. I've given them a win here. Like I still don't have any problem with TSM's sieging ability. Their ability to, you know, get goals on a team who are just sitting back and defending. Very, very good. Like TSM are one of the best teams in the world at this. But their problem is they don't have the best defending a solo plays, I would say, and they don't have the most threatening counterattacks. That might be just because they're rotating out too quickly.
Content, dude.
But I've not been able to see this too often in this series. This series is not a good example of this. But if you want to like have lots of opportunities to counterattack, one of the most important things is not to immediately rotate out after you end up in front of the ball. You want to stay in front of the ball for just a little bit, check and see if a pass is coming, and then when you realize it's not, then you rotate out. But if you're just auto rotating out early every time, you're making yourself unavailable for as a passing option. Dogtoon, thanks for the 6-month prime, man. Welcome back, and you're welcome. Yeah, I do attribute a lot of Vitality's success this season to solo play strength. Just they're so good at getting the ball past opponents, and they're so good at stopping opponents from getting the ball past them. If you're good at those two things, you're a very tough team to beat or even score on, as Barcelona found when they played against Vitality. Didn't get a single goal in a best of 5. Solid stuff by Fairy. Ignite had a good challenge though as well. Good trip by K-Dop as he's rotating out. This is okay, let's back this up because this is also noteworthy. So Fairy Peak comes in, K-Dop tries to get the ball over Ignite. Ignite slaps it back over his head, but the first thing K-Dop does, he doesn't immediately rotate away from the play. He doesn't just leave because he realizes, okay, actually Ignite might be making another play on this ball, so let me just trip him up. This rotation back straight towards his opponent is really smart by K-Dop. That's something you would see all the time from him if this is a 2v2 game, but you see it here in 3s as well. This actually should be a way better goal. K-Dop whiffs on the back wall. I still think this might be his biggest weakness. His back wall touches are sometimes pretty rubbish, but that's just an awful shot by Remco. He has to score that against Vitality. You're not going to get many better chances than this. But he misses, and now Scrub Killer is trying to make a solo play. No way is Scrub scoring this, is he? Surely not after he gets bumped midair. Stopped by Ignite, but they're in a bit of trouble now. Not much boost on anybody for TSM. Ignite's got 20. We just saw Metza with 0. Don't know what Remco's got, but I bet you it's not a big number. It's one of the areas where they struggle. They're not insanely good at getting out. This is why Dignitas, I think, always used to beat TSM every time they played, is because Dignitas would just go in one time, steal a boost from TSM, and TSM would have no way to get out. They're just stuck. Right, pretty safe touch by Remco, but nobody's actually playing the ball. Solo play from Fairy Peak. Good dunk by Metza. Read the infield pass. I think the infield pass was a bit too obvious there. I would like to see, honestly, just Fairy Peak making a 50-50 or a solo play. They are the team for solo plays, after all. Not just ground based, but aerial based as well. Maybe not so much in Fairy Peak's case. Fairy Peak's a monster at double touches, but you don't see too many ceiling shots or air dribbles from him. K-Dop and Scrub, you see a bit more in the ceiling shots. You see a lot more ceiling shots and flip resets and air dribbles and stuff from Scrub, but even K-Dop as well, starting to add these things to his offensive arsenal, which is already, I think, the best single player in attack. If you had to just have one player who's the only player in your team who's allowed to score, K-Dop would be that man for sure. What are you guys talking about timeouts for? Yeah, I would like to see everybody using their team decals. You know something? Just gonna pause real quick to say that if players like iGnite and Fairy Peak don't want to use the org decal, in my opinion, that's fine. But Psionics should totally hook up the spectator in such a way that we see them with their decals. You know, I think it would be cooler. Nice play by Scrub, double touch. I've just paused right in the middle of a double touch here, as you do. Just to trigger all the people who don't like when I pause things. Remco again, whiffing the back wall. He whiffed on a double touch save against Scrub in game 1, which wasn't too consequential because it was already a 3-0 game. That was the goal to make it 4, but this one's huge. You can't be missing that. Remco with a big miss on a ground shot earlier, and now whiff on a ball that Scrub's double touching. These 2 plays are the most important plays of the game so far. Narco RL, thanks to the 9-month Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Harder to tell players apart. You've got the nameplate in the bottom left for that. You could add like more overlays and stuff. I don't know. I think the strip just looks cool. It just looks better than regular cars. I mean, like, yeah, Ignite's car looks alright to play with. Like, I would definitely play with a car like this if it wasn't a Dominus, but you know, basic design. But I think the org decals, especially when everybody's got them, this looks so cool. That might just be open. Gets saved by Ignite here. Trying to make this an interesting ending. There is an aggressive demo by Ignite. Tried to make another one happen. Didn't quite work. Oh my goodness, Metza's just a beast though. What on earth? I didn't see this. That's an insane goal. Metza with the reads on every backwall bounce in this series. What on earth? How do you read this? I like what Ignite's doing though. It doesn't. It looks like it's just a solo play from Metza. But Ignite got one demo, drove through the box offensively, caused a lot of chaos. You've got to attribute, you know, some of the success to that goal, to that play. Still a chance actually for TSM at the end of this one. That's not a bad shot by Ignite, but saved without too much difficulty. If you could choose a paint finish for decals, you wish you could choose a paint finish for decals. I could see there being reasons against that though. Like, orgs are not going to be so keen to get their decals in game if people can just change the color because it doesn't fit their branding sometimes. So I can totally see why that might not be added to the game. Vitaly just looks so scary. Just looks so scary. Like, when you just look over at these nameplates, you're just like, how do I get the ball past all these people? How am I going to do that? How are we going to get the ball past Fairy Peak, K-Dop, and Scrub Killer? This is just a nightmare. Because a lot of the time, they're all relevant. They're rarely taking themselves out of the game. The recoveries are all really good. So you're pretty much always having to take the ball past every single one of them before you can score. Always somebody ready, gets saved by Fairy. TSM are getting chances, but you just fear that the one time that Vitaly get out of their half, that's going to be the end. It's not been anywhere near as reliable defending from TSM. This could be it. Like, that's just so risky. Why are Remco and Ignite both diving in like this? Ignite, I can understand, like, maybe he thought he had a chance here to make something happen, but it doesn't look like that profitable. Remco, almost like 0% chance that this is ever becoming a good idea. And yeah, you could have just conceded here. I don't know why Remco's throwing himself in there to a ball that doesn't look like it's ever going to be a goal. Multiple defenders in the way. And he's also not even the first man forward. Like, if you're the first man forward, then yeah, I guess in 3v3 you could be more aggressive in the other team's corner, but Ignite was already in the opposition goal, and Remco's still thinking, yeah, I'm just going to dive in here as well. Leave Metza all alone at the back. Not sure if Metza's too keen on that idea. Saved by K-Dop. Oh, we've got Fairy Peak. A wild Fairy Peak appears. No way. How did Fairy Peak appear here? Oh, so Fairy Peak tried to challenge Ignite, got beat to the ball, lands in like one of the outer planets in the solar system, and then here he is coming back. And Ignite's like, oh my goodness, Fairy Peak's here. What is he doing here? Panic! Ah, I'm dead. Good bump though by Metza, who's been so good this series. He didn't like have the best start, I would say, to the series. In fact, I think Metza in the first 2 games was out of position quite a lot. Bit antsy, not patient enough, trying to force things. But game 3 and 4, Metza's been very good indeed. Hey, thanks to C Shark 94 for the Prime sub, and also Gathoniel1 with the 60-month Prime. Welcome back. Long overtime here, actually, and that could just be it. No, good save by Metza. Fake challenge by Scrub, getting a lot done here. See, it doesn't look like much, but these are like these are big plays because you don't want to challenge this. Fairy Peak and K-Dop are both in front of Scrubkilla, and if Scrubkilla just walks into a 50-50 here with Remco and it doesn't go well, that could be the end of the game. So Scrubkilla doesn't challenge. He fakes a challenge, turns around. That's bought Fairy Peak and K-Dop time to get back into defense, and also allows him to put in another much safer challenge. That's how you want to play third man. And Scrub's done it really well there. Like these little fake challenges and like paths towards a challenge that Vitality players are taking are just, they're gonna be inherently better than your average RLCS team because they've played these positions more than their opponents. They've got so many more hours in those 1v1 positions where you have to put in a fake challenge that's convincing enough to get your opponent to hit the ball to you, but not too close that you're just going to get taken out of the game. They're, you know, months, maybe in some cases years ahead of their opponents in practice of these positions. Now, I'm not saying that you need to practice 1v1 to be a good 3v3 player. You don't need to. You can focus it entirely on threes, and that way you're going to have other strengths. But if you want to be the complete player, I think you need these days to be at least capable in 1v1 situations. Luckily for most Rocket League players, they do play 2v2 a fair bit, so even if they're not very good at 1v1 challenges, they are still going to be good at 2v2 ones. But there you go, that's just the game, and it's kind of like a good illustration of why Vitality are really good at counterattacks. Because K-Dop here doesn't shoot, he just passes it to his teammate who's in front of him, smashes it at Scrub. Scrubkilla taps it on, 114km/h shot. And it starts off in defense with Scrubkilla dribbling Metza. Like this might end up looking like a team play at the end, because it was K-Dop passing to Scrub. But how does it start? It starts with Scrub bringing the ball down, under control, dribbling Metza, dribbles, you know, essentially past Remco. He's forced Remco into a really bad challenge there. And then K-Dop passes to him and he scores. So there's actually solo play before the team play that gets this goal. Metza, gone. Like, Scrubkilla just gets past him way too easily there. Friend zone to all of you. I fleeky love you, dude. Sorry if I can't read chat too much when we're doing these reviews, but I just want to be able to focus on what I'm looking at. So yeah, not the best series there by Remco. Needs to just play better, just across the board. There was one shot that he absolutely should have been scoring, and Scrubkilla's double touch. I think he should definitely have been making a touch on that ball as well. Metza looking good, Ignite looking involved. I think if Remco steps up, TSM are going to be good for LAN without too much difficulty. Maybe even top 2 with Dignitas struggling as much as they are. Because TSM have already beaten Barcelona, who I think will end up being one of the other teams near the top of the standings. Yeah, Fairy Peak 6 saves. Pretty good stuff. Like, look at the shot differential. We've got, what is this? 15 shots to 6. 15 for TSM, 6 to Vitality. But did it feel like watching this last game that TSM were dominating? I wouldn't say so. I don't think that they were really, you know, like when these games end, if this is ranked and you're on the team with 15 shots against a team with 6, you probably feel robbed. You're like, oh my goodness, how did we not win this? But Vitality are just so solid in defense. Apart from a couple of double commits, which weren't really happening in this game. Double commits in, I think, the game that they lost. Or was it game 2 that they were double committing in? And some K-Dop weird touches in the back wall, like a whiff, one whiff. Like if K-Dop keeps on improving his back wall defense and Vitality's communication improves, like they're going to be so like good. Yo, what is this? TSM are verified and Red Vitality aren't. How do you get a verified clan? I want a verified clan. I want this. This sounds fun. But yeah, that's TSM Vitality, guys. Pretty interesting series. Vitality are now 5-0. So, oh, I turned on my face cam by accident. If you aren't aware, I think Vitality are pretty much guaranteed LAN already. Because for them not to finish off top 2 in the league, they need to lose 0-3, 0-3 to Triple Trouble and Mouse, I think, which is not likely to happen. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's really not likely. And they also need a very specific set of results for their opponents to go against them. So I don't know. It looks like Vitality are already confirmed LAN after 3 weeks of league play, which is ridiculous.